Who is the best character in zombies? This kind of question shows up in all fandoms, whether big or small. You'll always have some people being fans of this character and that character, some are fans of the underdogs like myself, and some characters are rightly justified as the best characters. In today's zombie analysis, we're going to be looking at each main character in zombies, and we're going to be trying to determine who's really the best character. Let's get started. So first things first, in this video, I'm only going to be talking about the main characters in zombies for the sake of time and lack of story importance for some. I'm sorry to say, this means no transit crew, no Mob of the Dead crew, or anything like that. Sorry, Misty. I'm not necessarily saying they're bad characters, there's definitely some good ones, especially with the Mob of the Dead crew. However, I think we can all agree that the main characters for discussion in zombies are the main crew that we all know and love. Dempsey, Nikolaj, Takeo, and Richthofen, as well as the main non-playable characters of Samantha and Maxis. These 6 key characters are what our zombie storyline revolves around, and we're going to be breaking down each. So without further ado, let's begin. To start things off, let's begin with a character that is highly underutilized, or at least was. I think one of the reasons why I love Takeo so much is that he's sort of this underdog character for me, right? If you ask most zombie players who their favorite character is, a rare few are going to say Takeo. That's just the facts. And I think this is highly due to the fact that Takeo hasn't really been given much storyline purpose in our beloved mode, compared to say someone like Richthofen. Throughout World at War and Black Ops 1, he was just sort of there. Many people consider him to be the 4th wheel of our crew, the least important. However, what's very interesting is that Takeo is actually getting some character development from Treyarch in Black Ops 3. It's like they finally said, hey, we should start making this guy have a bigger part to all of this, which I'm totally for. The problem of Takeo from the very beginning, similar to the other characters' traits, is that he was written basically as a stereotype. He was always, and still is quite frankly, spouting about honor and how he wants to please his emperor and his code. He wants to do justice for the people he serves rather than himself at times. And in a way, these sacrificial extents he'll go to might make him perhaps a better soldier than even Dempsey. Personally, I love Takeo. I love the fact that Treyarch has made him the awesome katana character, sort of like Michonne in The Walking Dead. He no doubt has some of the best fighting moments for sure, and you can tell Treyarch really developed his fighting style this way to try to get more people onto the Takeo hype train, per se. But that's also where the contrast hits as well. They've mainly only focused on his fighting identity as a character, not his storyline identity. If you look back at the original maps all the way up until Origins, no one really saw Takeo as an amazing soldier really. I mean sure, we might assume so, but we never actually saw him in action. He's changed a lot on that forefront, and it's very obvious that Treyarch wanted people to like him more. However, has he changed or developed as a character with his personality traits? Well, kinda? Without a doubt, he's still mostly the same Takeo we've seen in the past, but what's very intriguing is that Treyarch, I believe, is hinting at something bigger with his character. I know what you're probably saying, JC, what is this? What are you talking about? Well, you see, while all this crazy stuff has been going on with Richthofen's new plan and a way to restore the universe, etc., Takeo has had some interesting remarks about their journey, and I honestly think his character is going the route of a visionary. Just take a look at this radio on the Giant.
Our allies are filled with confidence and bravado, but I am troubled. My dreams are haunted by a man in shadow. I fear this vision may be a portent of our destruction.
He's having dreams, people, visions of the future and possibly their doom, and that's some heavy stuff for a guy who used to scream only "Anna" every time he killed a zombie. His character has become a lot more serious and in a way could potentially foreshadow our zombie storyline, which is really cool. With all this said about this character, there's been a decent amount of new development from Treyarch on him, and I'm excited to see how much more important he will be in the future, especially on the upcoming rumored and heavily implied island map, which should be heavily revolved around him. Now let's switch gears and take a look at Dempsey. What stands out the most in terms of Dempsey's character is his personality, of course. This guy is just a beast, no doubt. Like Takeo, Dempsey started out as a stereotypical character. Or I guess I should say, he basically was a character generally known for his patriotism, his love for explosions, and also his sort of American F yeah bravado. He is fun to relate to, and overall, his character not only plays an important role in the storyline, but also a very important metaphorical role. You see, Dempsey is the character that seems like he's perfect for the zombie apocalypse, right? He enjoys killing freak bags like the player, and generally expresses how much fun he's having while doing it. He's like the player in so many ways, and it's almost as if he knows he's in a video game. In fact, there are multiple quotes from Dempsey himself speaking directly to Treyarch, and sometimes hilariously speaking directly to the player controlling him. He's self-aware, and he has broke the fourth wall many times.
Check it out, a new ditty by Elena and Kevin. Thank you, Treyarch.
What's interesting though, is a lot of this stuff in the past seemed like nothing more than just funny jokes from Treyarch, which is definitely true. However, now, Dempsey as a character has developed much deeper than that. He represents us as the protagonist of the story. He is us, really, from his reactions to storyline moments, to his genuine enjoyment of killing zombies. He's the metaphorical incarnation of the player. It's sort of like Master Chief in Halo, right? One of the reasons why Master Chief is so popular today and Halo was so successful was because he didn't have a face. We, the player, took the helmet ourselves, and we were the protagonist, the hero of the story itself. Dempsey is like this, but a little different. We can't put our own face onto his character per se, but our personality is what matches his instead. Think about it. In terms of Richthofen's plans, Dempsey is just as out of the loop as we are. He knows just about what we know. When Richthofen does something that might signify a betrayal, both we and Dempsey have the same reaction. Quote, "We never should have trusted you."
This wasn't how it was supposed to go. We were supposed to secure the package and be in and out clean. Instead, the whole thing's been one disaster after another. I should never have trusted you, Richthofen. Never!
You should trust me, Dempsey. You all should.
When we blew up the Earth back in Black Ops 1, both we, the player, and Dempsey again shared a similar reaction.
That's it? Seriously? All that work and all we did was blow up the Earth? What the fuck?
We did all that work just to blow up the Earth? What? What makes Dempsey interesting is not just the fact that he represents our emotions and personality when playing, but his viewpoint of the storyline is also how we as players witness the storyline. There's a reason why in the Origins ending cutscene you cannot find Dempsey. It's because we're witnessing the cutscene through Dempsey himself. The game we're playing, the storyline we're seeing, it's all from his eyes, and that makes him very significant as a character. Of course, not to mention the fact that he's an unstoppable tank when it comes to the zombie horde. Alright, who's left? That's right, we haven't done Nikolaj yet. Nikolaj is a strange character. I remember back in the old days, Zombies was way more lighthearted and comedic. Nowadays, the characters seem to be feeling the weight of the zombie storyline on their shoulders, and we're seeing the direct impact of everything on these characters. They're burdened by these past events. This is really apparent with Nikolaj's new self, I should say, because he definitely is a lot different from World at War and BO1 Nikolaj like we used to know. Back then, literally every single line from his character just about involved mentioning vodka in some fashion. He was known to have multiple wives and from what we know, actually murdered one. But the Nikolaj we have now is almost a complete 180 in terms of his character, and it's hard to put my finger on, honestly. You see, Treyarch released this video titled Nikolaj_Memories, and within, Nikolaj is showing remorse and pain for his past. He's afraid of the darkness that is looming, and he's apparently lost someone or some battle, and it seems as if he genuinely cares about his family and wishes he was in a better place. But also at the same time, he knows he's fighting for something much bigger, and his fate is already sealed. That's deep. If Dempsey was considered our present, if Takeo was our visionary looking onto the future, what is Nikolaj? What does he represent? Is he the one that looks at the past? Is he the one that's supposed to remember not only our storylines past, but all of our characters' past lives? It is definitely important to know where our characters have come from. It's our past that shapes our present after all. Out of the four main characters in our crew, Nikolaj as of now seems to be the least important in my opinion, but he might not be. I don't know honestly. We haven't been given enough insight into this new version of him, but I'm definitely intrigued on the future of his character, especially when DLC 3 will most likely revolve around him completely. Now without further ado, let's talk about the big one, Richthofen. Suffice it to say, Richthofen has obviously had the most character development over the years. We've seen him go from crazy German scientist with a plan to an all-powerful god, and back again to, well, a German scientist with a plan. In terms of the storyline, Richthofen is basically the center point. I can think of no other character that could be considered the main character of all these events, except for him. He's Edward Richthofen, the man with the plan, the man that could be good, that could be evil, we just don't know. And what I love most about Richthofen is how secretive he is. If Richthofen is the embodiment of anything, he's basically Treyarch as a character. Think about it. Always knowing the steps and guiding the players through our quest, being cryptic and sneaky in almost every way imaginable, he's got everything that resembles Treyarch. Richthofen as a whole is a really good character. So many people classify him as their favorite, and it's easy to see why. From the beginning, he was the crazy doctor. He was funny and insane, and combined with the amount of investment his character has into the lore and story of our mode, it's almost impossible for him not to be considered the best character. He's unique, interesting, has the most time in the spotlight, and just overall, Richthofen was, still is, and will be the main catalyst for all the important events in our zombie storyline. While yes, we may be watching events play out through Dempsey's eyes, the events that happen are usually in direct correlation with Richthofen in some way. As of right now in the zombie storyline, Richthofen is trying to be a hero, or at least so we think. This reversal of his evil and insane nature is something that is quite different for us zombie fans, and whether or not he's honest about his new intentions or not remains to be seen. He says he's trying to save the universe, and for once, he's actually working with Maxis to do this? Weird. Honestly, guys, I think he'll revert back to his old ways in the near future. I could be wrong, but if you haven't noticed already, the Origins characters we have now are more and more becoming like their previous selves. There's a lot of quotes, especially in Der Eisendrache, where you can literally hear Edward slip back into his past insanity, something I think is sadly inevitable.
I cannot allow my fevered brain to distract me from my mission. I must stay focused. Stay focused, Edward. You are not yourself. You are not yourself.
All in all, is he the best character in Zombies? Probably. He has the best backstory, has hilarious antics, can be awesome and epic when he needs to be, and he is the catalyst and the game changer for almost everything in the zombie storyline. Without Richthofen, what would our storyline be like? Just ask yourself that. So that's it then. We found the best character in Zombies, right? I mean, it shouldn't have really come to anyone's surprise though. Most people say Richthofen is the best and their favorite, but hey, it did make for a good analysis video, didn't it?
No!
Wait, am I forgetting something?
Yes, keep going.
Oh, of course, yeah, you. I promise you were in the script, Maxis. Don't worry, you were there, buddy. You were there. It's okay.
Ah, yes.
Please don't kill me. Anyways, what I love more than anything is mysteries. I love not knowing the answer to something. That's why Lost was probably my favorite TV show of all time, and that's also why Zombies is just so appealing and engrossing to so many people. In Zombies, there is one character who always seems to be mysteriously in the background with a huge importance to our story, and that's Maxis. Love him or hate him, Maxis to me is the most intriguing character in our zombie storyline, and I think it's partly due to the fact that we never see him in person. I mean, yeah, we did see his body and a picture of his face in the beginning of the Origins cutscene, but he's always been this mysterious and commanding voice that we can only hear while we're playing, not see. We never really see his side to the story, and we never go inside his brain per se to find out what he truly wants and is thinking. Okay, that might have been bad phrasing, but enough about his brain. His presence in the zombie storyline has always been the counterpart to Richthofen. Under Maxis' employment, Richthofen grew to despise Maxis due to his lack of interest and support in Edward's work and his growing power in Group 935, along with also focusing the group's efforts more on war and violence than science and humanity like Edward wanted. What's interesting about Maxis is that his purpose and goals are even more ambiguous than Richthofen's. Is he a good guy now? Is he a bad guy? Does he only care about saving his daughter? That's just the thing, I don't know. He still could have good intentions, especially now, we just don't know enough. Trust me, this is coming from a guy who trusted him in Black Ops 2 only to get betrayed in the end. Still love you though, buddy. Anyways, it's hard to talk about Maxis without talking about Samantha, main character number 6, if you will, of our zombie storyline. From what I understand and believe, it seems as if now, the main goal Maxis has is saving the children, which includes his daughter. We still don't know at all what exactly the children represent and what they are really, but we do know it has something to do with the children in the Origins ending cutscene. Finding out what all this means is most likely the endgame of Black Ops 3, folks. Anyways though, what I love about Maxis is that so many questions and empty spots revolve around his character. Questions like, where was he teleported to originally when Richthofen tried to kill him?
Where is that rat Edvard? Where are we? And how did you get me out of that wretched tunnel? That is important right now.
What is his full plan that Richthofen is trying to carry out?
Remember what I told you, Edvard. The scars left by Samantha's past actions allow us to communicate across the rift. Follow my words. I will find you.
And where in the world, in the universe, is he right now? Is he in the house with the children? Is this even the same Maxis we've known originally? Or is this one trying to right the wrongs of his past self? So many questions, so little answers, but that's what I love. With Black Ops 3, I really hope we see more of Maxis soon. Personally for me, he's my favorite character in Zombies, and it's mostly due to the amount of mysteriousness that surrounds him, like I've said before. Every time I heard his voice in the past, I was glad to follow him, because I wanted to see what would happen, what his true goals were, where his story goes. We don't see his story too much, so it's always very exciting to me when we explore it. So that's my analysis, guys. If I had to state who the best character is, I would probably still pick Richthofen, although it's still a very hard choice for me, being the Maxis fanboy that I am. But here's where you guys come in. I don't have the definitive answer on this one. My opinion is just that, my opinion, and I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to tell me in the comments below who you think is the best character in Zombies. Who knows, maybe your comment might show up on a video in the future. And hey, if you think another character deserves more spotlight that I didn't even talk about, feel free to discuss why. Oh, and yeah, I know I didn't really talk about Samantha too much in this one, even though I do consider her a main character. It's mostly due to the fact that I kind of put her story in the same package deal with Maxis. It's hard to talk about her without talking about Maxis, and most likely I will probably talk more about her and her importance in Black Ops 3 in the future. But for now, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this zombie analysis, and be sure to like the video if you enjoyed. It took me forever to make this video, and I would greatly appreciate it. This has been me, JC, and I will see you guys on the next video. Have a good one.